Hello everyone, in this video I want to talk about first person and third person in Cyberpunk 2077. Now, as you know, Cyberpunk 2077 we play in first person perspective. And of course this means that the game itself, when you shoot, it's kind of like a first person shooter experience. Some of the aspects of the game, of course, are perfect for first person, like for example if you have a cyberware that replaces your eyes, kind of an optical enhancement. This allows you to see augmented information in front of you in first-person perspective. Now, CD Projekt Red also removed a third-person camera for all the cutscenes. So all the cutscenes now are in first-person perspective. And there's a tweet about it I'm going to read to you by Marcin Momot, and it says, achieving full immersion in a first-person perspective game is extremely important, and the decision made by the team to go 100% first-person in Cyberpunk game is something that will benefit it greatly from gameplay and storytelling perspectives. Now, we also need to keep in mind that when you design a game, there are so many things that you need to consider in terms of level design in order to compensate for different types of viewpoint from the character's perspective. For example, making, the ceiling higher because the camera in third-person perspective exists kind of above the player. So, you need to do different things, and this of course might mean like lots of work if they wanted to support both first-person and third-person perspective. Now, when you have such amazing customization options for your character, I know that many players want to see themselves when they wear a really cool coat, or maybe some, maybe going to be different effects for certain cyberware items. Again, it's a first person, but you will be able, and Marcin Momot said this in his tweet, the second tweet, he said that player will still be able to see their character in the inventory screen during diving sequences, in mirrors, and very occasionally in some of the cutscenes. And this is from September 2nd, 2019. All right. So I guess many people will definitely stare at the mirror because they want to compensate for the lack of ability to see themselves all the time. Probably some people will spend a lot of time in front of a mirror. Now, we need to consider the fact that there will be tons of interior places you can visit. So there'll be buildings you can get inside, kind of a very small, tight corridors that you can walk through. And if you're considering all the fact and the stealth gameplay, I think it would be very hard for them to implement both third-person and first-person perspective. And I personally prefer if it was they focused on one thing and went all the way through, so they perfected instead of trying to go with the two perspective option, and maybe it's not going to look as polished as it could be. Now, the other thing is immersion. I think immersion is one of the main reasons they wanted to go in first-person perspective. So, give the players the feeling of their actually being there in the place. And also, when you see the game in third-person perspective, things will kind of look bigger. Again, it's all about immersion. Whether they decide later to add virtual reality, well, I don't know just yet. But it will definitely can be a continuation of this type of gameplay, because people will be able, if they decide to support it in the future, to play the game in virtual reality. Most preferably in a room scale. Now, I do understand that some players will want kind of personal ownership of the character. I can understand that in many third-person shooters, not just shooters, RPGs and other type of games, when you play a third-person perspective, it's really cool when you have a kind of really cool things that you unlocked or achieve, and you want to kind of showcase it. And maybe when you create YouTube videos, when you play with others. So this is something that people wants to kind of show off. Well, I got really cool. For example, armor or helmet from the raid, like in Destiny, for example, and people really want to showcase this to the friend. Now, in Destiny, what we did, for example, when we got some really cool stuff, we could have maybe dance and maybe kind of emote, and then it goes to third-person perspective. So this is something that, if they implement, this can be cool. But I haven't found any information about that, whether there will be an emote that allows you to, for example, just dance or do something and it will go to third-person perspective. I don't think so, but again, I don't have information about that. But this is how it's implemented in some first-person perspective shooters that I play, allowing players to kind of showcase, just see how they look, but just using an emote. Yeah, so this is it. Maybe I'm going to have more information later on. I'm going to put it probably in the description, update the description of this video if I have more interesting information, or in the comment section below, pinned up. So again, thanks for watching, everyone. Consider subscribing to my channel. If you have anything to add it in the comment section below. And I see you on the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Cheers. Bye-bye.